Welcome back to Silent History. Today, we descend into a world that should not exist, a city built not up toward the sky, but deep into the cooling embers of the earth. 20,000 people hidden in plain sight for centuries. This is Derinkuyu. To understand this mystery, we must first look at the surface. The alien landscape of Cappadocia, Turkey, a land of stone and fire. For generations, the people above walked over the secrets below. Until one man in 1963 decided to fix a wall in his basement. He knocked down a stone partition and found nothingness. A dark passage that seemed to go on forever into the bedrock. The authorities were called. What they discovered wasn't just a cave, but a meticulously planned urban centre 18 levels deep. It reached nearly 300 feet into the ground. A complex network of tunnels, air shafts and living quarters that could withstand a siege for months. How was it possible? The answer lies in the rock itself. Volcanic tuff. It is soft when first cut, yet it hardens upon contact with the air. The ancient builders were masters of geometry. They carved arches and pillars to support the immense weight of the earth above. Ventilation was a triumph of engineering. Over 50,000 shafts brought fresh air to the deepest levels, even during the heat of summer. Imagine life in these shadows. No sun, only the flicker of oil lamps. Yet they lived with a sense of normalcy we can barely fathom. They had communal kitchens with massive stone ovens. Smoke was diverted through hidden chimneys to avoid detection from the surface. They kept livestock in the upper levels for easy access to the surface. Deeper down, they produced wine and stored vast quantities of oil and grain. Spirituality was their anchor. They carved beautiful cruciform churches, seeking solace in the silence of the stone while the world above was at war. But why build so deep? The answer is survival. Derinkuyu was a fortress of the desperate, and its defenses were ingenious. Massive circular stone doors could only be rolled shut from the inside. From the outside, there was no way to budge them. They were trapped and safe. The tunnels were deliberately narrow and low, forcing attackers to stoop. This created perfect kill zones where a single defender could hold off an army. Who built it? Hittites, Phrygians, or the early Christians fleeing Roman persecution? The stone reveals little of its creators. Every era left its mark, but the earliest levels suggest a civilization far older than we ever suspected, a history written in the dark. By the 1920s, the city went silent. The last inhabitants left, leaving behind a ghost city that waited 40 years to be rediscovered. Derinkuyu reminds us that when humanity is pushed to the edge, we don't just survive. We build, we create, we endure, even in the total darkness. The city remains a testament to the strength of the human spirit, a monument carved into the very bones of the world. This is silent history, and the past is never truly silent. Some stories are carved in stone, others are still being shaped. Stay curious. The upper levels of Derinkuyu were for life, but as we go deeper, the purpose of this city shifts from shelter to survival. Hidden on the third level is a secret known to few, an 8-kilometer tunnel carved by hand, connecting Derinkuyu to the neighboring city of Kaimakli. It was an underground highway, a way for thousands of people to move between cities without ever being seen by the world above. Education didn't stop in the dark. This room, with its unique vaulted ceiling and stone benches, is believed to have been a school. Even in a time of war and hiding, the preservation of knowledge was essential. Children learned here, safe from the chaos of the surface. Water was life. But the wells here were different. They did not connect to the surface, preventing enemies from poisoning the supply. But imagine the psychological toll. Months without seeing the sun. The constant weight of millions of tons of rock above your head. Privacy was non-existent. Entire families lived in rooms no larger than a modern closet, bound together by the shared need for safety. Light was a precious commodity. The soot on these ceilings tells us of thousands of lamps burning through the endless night. Some archaeologists believe the Hittites were the original architects, carving the first levels nearly 3,000 years ago to escape invading armies. If so, Derinkuyu is one of the oldest active fortifications in human history, a legacy passed through empires. Today we use laser technology to map the tunnels, and yet we've only explored a fraction of what lies beneath the earth here. Our journey isn't over. In the final chapter, we descend to the deepest level, to the secret of the church and the ultimate mystery of why they left. The past is deeper than we know. Stay with us as we descend one last time. To call Derinkuyu a cave is an insult to its creators. This was a masterclass in urban planning, designed with a precision that rivals modern architects. The ventilation wasn't just accidental. They utilized the Bernoulli principle, creating pressure differences that forced stale air out and pulled fresh mountain air down to the lowest levels. Waste management was equally advanced. They carved sophisticated drainage channels and cesspools far away from their living quarters and water sources to prevent disease. The city was zoned for efficiency. Upper levels for the active, the livestock and kitchens, middle levels for the families, and the deepest levels for the sacred and the secret. If Derinkuyu were placed in modern Manhattan, it would occupy the same volume as a 50-story skyscraper, but inverted, plunging into the granite. The sheer volume of rock removed is staggering. Millions of tons of stone carried out by hand, bucket by bucket, through narrow holes. And we believe there is more. Ground-penetrating radar suggests at least 3 more levels still sealed, still holding the secrets of the first builders. But now, the air grows cold. The engineering ends here. We must descend one last time, to the very bottom, to face the silence. We have reached the edge of the known world, level 7, level 8. Here the air is thin and the silence is deafening. This is the deepest accessible point, nearly 85 meters down. Why dig this deep? Some say it was a final refuge of last resort. Here lies a large cruciform hall. Its purpose is debated: a church, a meeting place, or something darker. Some archaeologists call this the confessional. Others believe it was a dungeon, a place where the laws of the surface no longer applied. But amidst all this life, where are the dead? We have found no large catacombs, no mass graves. It is a city of the living, not the dead. Did they risk the surface to bury their loved ones? Or are their levels even deeper, still hidden, waiting to be found? The end of Derinkuyu didn't come with a bang, but a whimper. In 1923, during the population exchange between Greece and Turkey, the Christian Greeks who had used these tunnels for centuries were forced to leave. They sealed the doors one last time and walked away. For 40 years the city slept. Local farmers used the cool upper rooms for storage, unaware of the metropolis beneath their feet, until that hammer blow in 1963 broke the silence, and the world remembered what it had forgotten. Derinkuyu is more than rock and tunnel. It is a monument to human resilience, to the lengths we will go to protect what matters. Fear drove them underground, but hope kept them alive. Hope that one day they could walk in the sun again. This has been a Silent History Deep Dive. Thank you for descending with us. I'm Elias, and until next time, stay curious. Today, the town above thrives. Modern Derinkuyu sits directly on top of its ancient twin, a living bridge between the present and a forgotten age. Thousands of visitors descend these stairs every year, marveling at the strength and ingenuity of those who called the darkness home. Thank you for joining us on this 10-minute journey. This is Silent History. The past is never truly silent. Stay curious.